Hello, everyone, and welcome along to what quite could possibly be the biggest day in the history of Formula One. It's finals day for the 2021 season, and it's Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton lining up on the front row together, tied on points. It's only happened once before in the history of our sport, and that was well back in 1974. It has every ingredient to be a classic in Formula One. And Max Verstappen, who locked up in Q2 yesterday on the medium tyres, will start this race on the soft tyres because that's what he used to get through to Q2. So Max Verstappen then will start on the soft tyres with Lewis Hamilton on the mediums. With Verstappen having the better qualifying car, he decided to go for the softs in Q2 to make sure he got through. Lewis has the better race car. That's been clear all weekend long. And he is surely poised in the better position. Max is in the better position on track. But in terms of strategy, I think Lewis has the advantage here because Pirelli say those soft compound tyres will only go about 15 laps, while those mediums will go a lot longer. And I just hope there's not going to be a center post incident today. That would not be good for Formula One. 23 minutes and 40 seconds then until lights out, and it's going to be an absolute blockbuster of an Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We should be joined by Charlie Tolhurst just before lights out. Who are you backing today? Let us know in the comments. Are you Team Max or are you Team Lewis? Or are you like me on the fence, just praying it's going to be a good battle? We don't want to send a post incident, that's for sure. But we're going to hand you now to the iconic Martin Brundle's grid walk for a few minutes.
Let alone a Formula One driver, except George is nice and tall. He's got his cool suit on, and we'll see if we can have a quick chat with him. He's just talking to BBC 5 Live, actually. So obviously we don't, but we sometimes get competitive on who's talking to who next. But we don't. George. So yeah, good. Sorry, I need to do that.
This is our first one together. I feel it's been a while. Yeah, it's our first one ever.
Lance said to me, I don't remember that.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, your last race for Williams, you've done well there for 3 years, and you're going to get the big prize next year at Mercedes-Benz. But 58 laps to go first.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got a job to complete, which is finish P8 of the team championship for us, but obviously the big one for the boys at the top end. So, yeah, good luck to them. I think neither of them deserve to lose, but unfortunately that's not how the game works. So let's see.
Any pre-race nerves or anything like that? Or
not for me. I'm pretty relaxed and go out there, have fun, stay out of trouble, and stay out of these guys' way because obviously that's the most important thing. So.
Yeah, and next year you'll need them to stay out of your way.
I won't be sent out the way then.
See you later. Right, let's see. I'm kind of pinned in here. Daniel, quick word.
What would you like, mate?
Right, how are you, son? There's a lot of people on this grid and in the crowd. They love you, and we love you. And how much do you love your car on this track today?
Hopefully a little more than yesterday, but it's good. It's definitely I love having the finale here. It's a good place to finish off the season. And I'm stoked. Obviously, there's a big race going on, but it's cool to be part of it, and I'll try and work my way towards the front.
And does it matter if there's a World Championship going on? Does it matter to you at all?
It doesn't affect my race itself. I think it matters to everyone watching, absolutely. But let's say my race from a strategic point of view, not at all. No.
Go well.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Young Mick just walking past. We had a chat with him last weekend. So I wanted to try and find Kimi in his last race, but he's already gone through, unfortunately. And just to say thank you to Kimi for everything he's done for Formula One and for us over the years. What an amazing character he's been. But anyway, no chance. So I'm going to throw back to Simon.
Thank you, Martin, there on the grid walk as Kimi Raikkonen makes his way to the front of the grid for one final time in Formula One. Great to hear from the drivers on the grid ahead of the finale of an epic championship. And like Martin rightly said, it isn't today just about the ones at the front. That's what it's mainly about. We're now going to hand you back to Abu Dhabi for Kimi Raikkonen gesture. Actually, we're not at the moment. We will be there in a few moments for Kimi Raikkonen gesture. He's standing at the front of the grid with his wife Mintu Raikkonen and his 2 kids as well. He said he won't miss F1, but I'm sure when he goes into retirement he will miss F1 because it's been his life and it's been his career and it's been his passion since he was a young boy. I'm sure it is going to be a very special moment for Kimi this race, and quite an emotional one as well for all of the other drivers as well, because Kimi is an icon in the paddock. He's so funny, and he is genuinely such a lovely guy to have in Formula One. And if you think about this title fight, let's say, it's like England being in a World Cup final. It's that big. It's being viewed across the globe, across the planet. I'm sure if you're an F1 fan, you'll be tuning into either our streams today or the live feeds from Abu Dhabi. And we have to say we're delighted to be able to bring you the live commentary and the live chat from Abu Dhabi. As I said, hopefully we'll have Charlie Tolhurst with us very, very shortly. But if he doesn't turn up, then he doesn't turn up. But yeah, it's the hype's here, isn't it? The excitement's, you can feel the excitement in London from Abu Dhabi. And I know over here from London, it's a massive, massive race. Yeah.
When you look up in these stands, it's probably 50-50, isn't it? We know that the Max Fan Club travel in numbers, but
I think looking at the stands, it's like 50-50. There's a lot of support for Max and a lot of support for Lewis.
But I think today there's so much support for F1. This is such an amazing showdown. Even people that don't watch Formula One normally, I think will be turning on today. This is such a fierce.
And I do even feel that even people who are not F1 fans are tuning into this one. We're going to hand you over to TM Races a message.
On the tracks, in the pits, as a sport. But we all race for something bigger. It's time we race for equality. It's time we race for sustainability. It's time we race to be global citizens. It's time we race for equal access, opportunities, and representation.
Because sport can change the world, but it's up to us to make sure that change is for the better.
United, we are stronger. Change starts with you. It needs to come from your heart. Keep working, keep learning, keep on understanding. We have a platform to shift change, starting little by little. Boy or girl, man or women, united for the same causes. We have the opportunity to spread the right message.
If we all pull together, every single person has responsibility.
The best example is our own example.
We need to be responsible in what kind of mark we leave.
We don't have all the answers yet, but we can help find one.
Change starts here. We race.
We race.
We race.
We race.
We race.
We race as one.
Formula One is we race as one message. Now it's time for the gesture.
And the drivers have been united all season long in that message then of end racism. And they're now making their way for one final time to the front of the grid. It's time for the national anthem of Abu Dhabi. One moment. Lewis Hamilton on one side of the trophy with Toto Wolff. Max Verstappen on the other side with Christian Horner as the fly past and the national anthem takes place then. And we're going to see if we can get some live feed interviews from anywhere on the grid. We're not quite sure that's going to be possible yet. But yeah, for the final time this season, we'll be taking you through every single moment from Yas Marina, and I'm sure you're going to want to stick with us for the whole way through it. And yeah. Let's speak to Lando Norris now, just ahead of the race, actually.
What have you been thinking?
Go for it. I have nothing to lose. It's for theirs to lose. Of course, I'm not going to be an idiot. I hope I'm not anyway. But I think, I've got to be sensible, of course. I'm not racing for the win today necessarily. They've got to clear ahead quite quickly, but I still got my own race to look after, so I'll go for it from my side.
Yesterday you said you're a bit scared though, like to intervene. Like how are you feeling on that?
The same. I know it's one of the biggest battles for the championship for many years, so it's just a weird position to be in. I've not been in this position before where you're racing them, but they're also fighting for a world championship, the biggest championship in the world. So it is a weird position to be in. But I've got to be sensible like normally I am and stay calm.
Lando, your parents here wanting well and dad.
Yes.
You must want to reward them with a podium, though.
I know. I'll try. If I can't reward them with a podium today, they should be happy with the P3 from yesterday. So it's nice to have them here, and of course I'll do my best for them.
Who's going to win the championship?
You really made me do this, huh? You better get in your car.
You gotta go.
Zach's calling it.
There you go. Max, we got it. Okay, we'll get that. Toto, well, I can't tell you that. Well, he said Max, but who today? What have you been going through? What have you said to the team? What have you said to Lewis, and how relaxed are you?
Well, we are going to go massive attack. Whatever the strategy is, whether it's a one-stop, two-stop, we are going to be on his tail in a second. Well, there's just one way to go, and that's forward.
What about turn one? Lewis going to go on the attack there as well on the inside?
Yeah, well, that's a tricky bit. But Lewis is the best to know how to position the car that it doesn't end up with mayhem in turn one.
So you had a little conversation with Michael Massey. Anything interesting there?
Yeah, just shortly. Yeah, he knows there's so much at stake. It's not a street circuit, so I hope there will be less mayhem.
Finally, you must be very proud. This is part of Formula One history, Toto.
Yeah, hopefully it will play an important role in that Formula One history, but honestly, whoever wins merits the win, and if it's not us, it will not be the end of the day, but it will be pretty upsetting.
And the best man win. Let's go to Karuna, the scout man.
And you're going to stay for going through now.
What might happen?
Simon, there's been so much talk about this offset of times. Max Verstappen on a softer compound to Lewis Hamilton. So I thought, let's go back to last week, the restart, where that was the case. Max on the medium, Lewis on the hard time. And that softer grip just gave Max the confidence. It's not just about the launch, it's about the confidence you get on the brakes as well. Now, the circuit's been reconfigured, and we've seen some great racing on the exit from turn 5 on the run down to turn 6 in Formula 2. Look at this helicopter shot, 4 wide into turn 6. Hopefully, this is a bit of a precursor for what we're going to see at turn 9, the new bank corner as well. We saw some fantastic wheel-to-wheel action between Liam Lawson, Jack Doohan, and Roy Nissany. I'll forward it along because the move starts at the turn 6-7 complex. But when you head down towards turn 9, we're seeing multiple lines because of banking. We saw it at Zandvoort, we saw it in Saudi Arabia. People able to go inside, outside, do a switchback. And again, hopefully, this will set up what we're going to see later today. Ted, the track temperature down to 30 degrees. It's getting exciting here.
Never mind the track temperature, Karun. Never mind the track temperature. To quote the late, great Murray Walker, down here on the grid, you can cut the tension with a cricket stump. Look into his eyes. Look into his eyes. That's the first time this year I've seen that man look worried. How could he not be worried? How could Max Verstappen not be worried? He's led the championship at one point, before the race at Silverstone, by 33 points. 33, 33, 33. There's a number. 33 points, and yet he comes here, and he's equal on points with Hamilton. Let's have a look at Hamilton. How does he look after the sprint race? It was 33 points. Hamilton is in the car already. He's in the car. He's settled. He's got the Rainbow Pride helmet on there. He's all ready to go. Simon, touch tension.
So Hamilton pretty much in the car straight away. Everything is on the line here in Abu Dhabi this afternoon. And we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we have all of the updates and we'll be live and uninterrupted from the Yas Marina circuit.
It's a thriller, a horror, an adventure. At the turn of every page, there are surprises.
Hey, look at that!
Shocking twist in the tale.
Is that clock going slowly? It is! Oh my goodness me!
And the latest chapter has eclipsed all imagination. Two protagonists, the warrior, the master. One vying to take the crown.
I hope to become a world champion.
The other on the cusp of legend.
I've been training my whole life for this moment.
In support, two confidants, defending or ailing,
That was epic!
cajoling.
Keep telling that story.
We'll never give up. This is still on.
A battle, years in the making.
You were born in 97? Jeez.
In this fight, no quarter has been given. No challenge unmatched.
It's time we have both that!
Pressure has grown.
Christian is a bit of a windbag who wants to be on camera.
Tension has risen.
I was told so I keep my mouth shut.
The bitterness of defeat. The sweet taste of victory.
Yes! Come on, guys!
Like chapters of old, the plot twist will continue.
It's false wide by 7!
Right down to the last paragraph.
Oh, in touch!
The last sentence.
That's more like it, come on.
The last word.
The basic first.
Who knows how this story will end?
getting there loose. Yes.
Great job for the strategy.
Let's keep the trouble.
That was masterclass in the World Championship.
Lewis, we never give up. We never give up. This is still up.
Well done, mate. That was epic.
That's only a little bit close.
That's the 100. Classy. That was classy.
Tried everything I could, but you were just
I'm just hitting, man. My wings broken.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome along to the epic duel in the desert. It's the Formula One Etihad Airways Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, round 22 of the 2021 FIA Formula One World Championship. And who will be world champion? Make sure you let us know in the comments, but first we're going to take a look at the track. 5.281 kilometers, 3.282 miles to DRS zones, and a new bank corner as well at turn 9, and another new corner at turn 5 then, or it used to be turn 5. The modified circuit, and as I said, banking at turn 9, the old triple chicane is gone. And much faster enter the circuit as well, as that hotel section has been modified with the apexes of the corners being very much widened out to make it not the 90-degree style look. That's our circuit then for the epic title showdown. These are our tyres for the showdown as well. We've got the C5, the C4 and the C3, the hardest tyres in the Pirelli range. The softest tyres, sorry, in the Pirelli range. C5 being the soft, C4 the medium, and C3 the hard. Let's take a look at the starting grid then. Max Verstappen will start on pole with his championship rival Lewis Hamilton alongside him for the final showdown. Lando Norris will start third with Sergio Perez in fourth. How could he play a crucial role in the championship? Carlos Sainz will start fifth with Hamilton's teammate Valtteri Bottas in sixth. Charles Leclerc will start seventh with Yuki Tsunoda lining up in eighth. Esteban Ocon will start in ninth with, he's got Australian Daniel Ricciardo alongside him to round out the top 10. Fernando Alonso will start 11th with Pierre Gasly in 12th position. Lance Stroll will start 13th. Antonio Giovinazzi will start his final F1 race 14th. Sebastian Vettel will start 15th. Nicholas Latifi will start 16th. And George Russell will be in 17th with legend Kimi Raikkonen alongside him in 18th. Mick Schumacher will start 19th. And Nikita Mazepin will miss the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix after testing positive for COVID-19 then. We send our best wishes to Nikita and wish him a speedy recovery. We understand that he is only experiencing mild symptoms, which is absolutely fantastic. And in about 2 and a bit hours' time, we should know who the Formula One world champion will be. Attempting to win a record-breaking 8th Formula One World Championship is Lewis Hamilton. Max Verstappen attempting to break the record to become the youngest ever Formula One World Champion as well. It has absolutely everything to be a cracker in the desert and a cracking end to a cracking season of Formula One. But for one last time in 2021, we are about to get the formation lap on the way. Then the one light is on, and that one light goes out now as the clock is about to tick 5 o'clock local time, and they put away then for one more time in 2021. And the next time they pull off the line, they will be racing, and it will be the race that will determine the champion. 21 at the moment, long, hard races. This one decides it all. So, Verstappen starting on the soft tyre. he will have to pit a lot earlier than what Lewis Hamilton will have to pit. Could even be 5-10 laps earlier. May even will be forced into a 2-stop strategy. Lewis Hamilton will start on the medium, but obviously that medium tyre will not get him off the line as well as Max Verstappen. Well, he could potentially challenge Lewis into turn 1. And if you're Lewis, I don't think you'd want to be going for a move at turn 1, knowing the potential today that we could get a Senna Prost incident. I hope we don't. But if you were Lewis, you'd be thinking play it safe into the first corner, because we know Max does not give a quarter. Previous Abu Dhabi Grand Prix victories, Verstappen, Hamilton, Bottas, Hamilton in 2016. Verstappen obviously winning last time out last year in the finale here. Always a great place to hold the finale, and I think it might just be this place's biggest race yet. On the bridge then, as they head on to the hotel, Max versus Lewis with the championship trophy in between them. Right, they're putting it on to the penultimate corner then, and they're about to make their way. Hamilton very, very slowly onto the grid. If Mercedes won the Constructors' Championship today, they break the record for the most consecutive Constructors' Champions of 8 in a row. Jos Verstappen then in the Red Bull garage looks as nervous as anything. Actually seeing Max Verstappen get in the car for the first time this season, that man looked very, very worried. He's got a silver arrow as they pull into position alongside him on the front row of the grid. Christian Horner looks on with eagle eyes like the rest of us across the world where this race is being displayed as the rest of them make their way weaving onto the grid. The front runners have already been sitting there for so long. And my heart's racing. So no, I have no idea what the heartbeat of the 2 championship contenders sitting on the front row are thinking. We are about to witness history. 21 races, a season full of hard work. All comes down to this. We've got the green flag at the back. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights at Yas Marina. And the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is going. Hamilton has got a much better start and takes the lead in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Hamilton leads into turn 1, and that is crucial in the World Championship. Hamilton got a much better start off the line. Hamilton leads from Max Verstappen, from Sergio Perez, and Verstappen's going to think about a move at turn 5 and tries to take Hamilton out, but it doesn't work. Hamilton leads the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and that is crucial. Crucial. But Verstappen's got the slipstream. Verstappen has the slipstream towards the chicane, but he can't quite do it, can he? Verstappen lunges. Oh, they make contact. It's happened immediately, and Hamilton goes off the road. And he's still in the lead. It's happened immediately. The 2 championship antagonists collide at Abu Dhabi, but they both carry on. And Verstappen saying Hamilton has to give it back. We feared this might happen. It's happened in the opening lap. And wow. And where will this go to the stewards? Verstappen saying he has to give it back. We need to look at this again. At the end of that one, it's Hamilton who leads. Hamilton radio. Wow. I mean, the stewards look at it. Did Hamilton gain a lasting advantage? And if he did, then he will surely be asked to give the place back. But they were side by side when they went off. Max was on the inside, and I think actually went off the track himself. Right, as they head down towards the chicane at turn 4 and 5 again then. So what will the stewards decide? Hamilton is pulling away. And let's have a look at it again. Max went down the inside and no, because okay, so the stewards deem it no investigation necessary. That's crucial in the World Championship then. So that means no penalty for Lewis Hamilton. So it did go to the stewards' room and they decided no investigation would be necessary. Red Bull would be protesting that as they head through the hairpin at turn 5. And DRS has now been enabled. Red Bull to and so the eyes of the stewards is that Lewis gave back enough space, gave up enough time when he went off the road. He slowed down enough to gain some time back, and that is why they decided not to give Lewis a penalty for staff and radio. Max saying it's incredible. What are they enduring here? I don't know. And angry Verstappen. We've seen angry Verstappen as well throughout this race. It's the first controversial moment in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and I think we are going to get many, many more. We said it would be about who got off the line better. Would Lewis lunge into turn 1? He very, very much did. Let's take a look at that race start again then. Hamilton just got so much better drive off the line in the second phase of the start. And Perez took third place, which is crucial for the Constructors' World Championship off Lando Norris. Let's go on board with Lewis Hamilton then. He just gets so... I think Verstappen gets a bit of wheel spin, and Hamilton's reaction time is a whole 10th quicker when the lights went out on compared to Max Verstappen. We know he's superb off the lights. Then they went down to turn 6 and 7. They made contact. Hamilton had to take to the escape road. I think Max went in a bit too late and rather maybe pushed Lewis off the road there. The stewards deemed it no investigation necessary. They deemed that Lewis slowed down enough off when he went off the track to give back some time. And it is very much like Brazil, and there was no penalty given in Brazil. So should there be a penalty given here? Probably not. And I mean, they decided it was a fair move from Verstappen, and they decided that he gave enough time back at Brazil. They've decided the same here in Abu Dhabi this afternoon. I don't really think you can change that, can you? Like, if you give it to one driver, then you have to give it to the other. surely you have to take the same view on it. And if that was the view they took in Brazil, then that should be the view they take here in Abu Dhabi tonight. Here from pit lane, Ted Gravitz. On board with Charles Leclerc's helmet cam now for the last time. Last helmet cam of the season. Well, it's the last race of the season. We love helmet cam as the sun goes down. We're going to hear from Christian Horner now.
As you can imagine, we're not best pleased. Is this what goes around comes around, Christian, with turn 4 Brazil and into some first corners in earlier races?
No, it's a total lack of consistency. So, we're disappointed with it, but focus on the race now, and we've got to do it the hard way.
Christian, there will be a lot of people watching Formula One for the first time ever. When they're presented with no action for one incident, no action for another, they'll find it hard to believe that's a total lack of consistency.
Well, the race director made it very clear before the race that you had to stay within the white lines. Max did that. Lewis gained an advantage by going off track. He didn't concede it. He didn't give anything back, so that was our position. But anyway, we're focused on the race, and still a long way to go.
Christian, thanks ever
It's
so much.
already a controversial moment in this race at the first. Actually, within the first 5 corners, really. Red Bull Radio now.
That was a hard, aggressive pass by Max. Max stayed fully on the track and he was ahead of the apex. He did everything right, stayed on the track. At some point, the second car has to back out.
Jonathan, the stewards have reviewed it and determined that all of the lasting advantage was gained, and that Max forced that position there. So they've said that they have reviewed it, but they're not investigating it.
So therefore, you've heard it firsthand from the stewards. Lewis Hamilton is now over 2.1 seconds out in front, which is that's quite a big gap in Formula One. 2 seconds, and can Max close it down on the strategy? Did Lewis have the right to the corner? I think he did. He was ahead. Should he maybe have gone off the track? No. I don't think he should have done. But if he gave the time back, then did give him a penalty? I don't know. Hamilton's done the fastest lap. Damon Hill saying this. He's surprised they didn't say give the pace back. And Jos Verstappen does not look best pleased at all. Hamilton continues on lap 8 of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And Hamilton's got more pace despite Verstappen being on the softer tyre. Five seconds then covers the top 3. Don't say this race is over yet. You've still got a long way to go in this race. Verstappen radio. We're starting to struggle a little bit, and that's very, very early to be hearing that message in the race on the soft compound tyres. Basically, what it means is that the rears are going a bit. Is when he's putting the traction down that foot flat to the floor, he's getting oversteer, and the rear is basically stepping out on him. If you're new to Formula One, in that respect, so yeah, it does lose you a chunk of time through the corner speed if that is the problem. Right, but Valtteri Bottas has got some DRS, and he's got a sequence of cars ahead of him that starts with Lando Norris, Leclerc, and Tsunoda. This is quite a nice battle brewing in the middle of the field here. Let's have a look at Verstappen. Tyres, marbles flying off his rears, and they don't look too bad, actually. The rear wing was shaking a bit, but that didn't look too bad at all, actually. It's
Mercedes can hit Hamilton. Hamilton comes out with fresh tyres. To be really easy.
Assuming you can get them warmed up straight away, but what is clear, there is the length of that back straight, which is well over 1 kilometre long, in between Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz, second and fourth in this race. Running behind Sainz is former McLaren teammate Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc running in 6th at the moment, Yuki Tsunoda having a decent race, running in 7th, Valtteri Bottas, and not for the first time this season struggling to get past the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda, who's been rather held up.
As we head into the sunset, Hamilton sets a new fastest lap of the race. And Hamilton starting to stretch the place out in front. And yeah, it was about 1/10 of a second better reaction time, actually. And I think they did touch, actually, at that turn 7 incident. Verstappen stayed within the white lines, and I don't think Lewis did, and that might be Hamilton radio. Being told great laps Lewis by Bono and keep the pressure on. Valtteri Bottas could actually come into play with this. He's 21.5 seconds behind Max Verstappen, and that would limit Red Bull to being able to pit. And Hamilton putting the country mile clear now. He's a second a lap now quicker than Max Verstappen. And they are tremendously fast laps from Lewis, and anxious faces in the Red Bull and Mercedes garage. It's advantage Lewis Hamilton at this moment in time. So it is about now we would start expecting to see the soft tyre runners starting to pit in this lap on the next couple of laps. or so. Verstappen radio. Verstappen saying his tyres are really struggling. He's having to work very, very hard. Scores were level going into this one, and the advantage Lewis Hamilton at this moment in time. Remember, let us know in the comments if you are watching this live. If you're watching a replay, then you can still let us know, but who you want to win. But yeah, let us know who you think will win this FIA Formula One World Championship. 5.1 seconds now, the gap. But obviously, absolutely anything can happen, and it isn't looking great though for the Dutch man right now. It's looking slightly better for the British driver at this moment in time. Toto Wolff said Lewis would get racy into the first corner, and he certainly did that, didn't he?
They didn't even need to be doing that lap that he was on when he locked the front left tyre into turn 1.
It's forced a change in strategy and it forced them onto the back foot a little bit. Ted, down to you.
Max Verstappen not the only one who's struggling with his soft tyres. Lando Norris has been on the radio saying, they're okay, they're all right, but struggling to keep pace with Carlos Sainz ahead of him. Now dropped to 3 seconds behind the Ferrari of Sainz.
So Lando Norris now 3 seconds behind the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. He's dropped back a bit, considering he started third in this race, so he's lost a bit of time. Norris radio. And Lando saying we keep losing gears. This might continue to happen. The Red Bull crew are out in the pit lane then. And who is it going to be? It's Max Verstappen then. So Verstappen coming into the pits for a set of hard tyres. Let's see how the stop goes. It's a good stop. And if Red Bull's got their strategy right, he should come out ahead of Carlos Sainz, but he's not. He's not going to come out ahead of Lando Norris either, I don't think. No, he's not going to come out ahead of Charles Leclerc. He is just going to come out ahead of Charles Leclerc as Leclerc goes off. Was he distracted by Verstappen coming onto the track? But Leclerc now locks up. As Verstappen now gets past Lando Norris, and Leclerc he's going to try the outside of Yuki Tsunoda at turns 6 and 7. That isn't going to work for Leclerc, but he's going to get a run all the way to the bank corner. Hamilton radio. And now they're going wheel to wheel. Hamilton told to box. Leclerc's going to get Tsunoda back low at the bank corner at turn 9. And Hamilton's in then. What's the stop? Good stop from the Mercedes crew. 2.4 seconds. Perez now takes the lead of the race. Hamilton's trundling down the pit lane at 80 kilometers an hour. And let's see where he comes out. He disappears under the tunnel. He's going to come out ahead of Carlos Sainz then. And that is crucial. So Hamilton comes out ahead of Carlos Sainz, but Perez now is surely going to try and back Lewis up. And let's see how Leclerc went off the track. Verstappen just came on and Leclerc just gets a bit of oversteer and goes off onto the runoff and all of the bit. You basically don't want to be putting your car over.
Some overheated soft compound tyres on there as well, and it was quite safe for Leclerc there, but yeah, maybe he was a bit urgent as well, trying to get past, hoping to get past.
But will Perez now back Lewis up? Perez radio.
might have been to come into the pits. Plan B is to stay out there, and maybe Sergio Perez now can help Max Verstappen if Hamilton catches him by not going quite as fast as Hamilton, and just try and slow up the momentum for Lewis Hamilton. And as it stands at the moment, that momentum is gaining and gaining and gaining with every lap, and there's not much that stops him so far.
I mean,
Assume that leave Perez out in the hope of slowing Hamilton down in a few laps' time. Verstappen's catching.
I assume they've left Perez out in a hope of slowing Hamilton down a bit. Leclerc's now come into the pits. So's Esteban Ocon. Let's go to the Ferrari garage then. It's a slow stop from the Ferrari crew though, and it's 3.4 seconds then. So he did lose quite a bit of time in that pit stop. Ocon comes out in 17th. He's going to be behind Nicholas Latifi. Obviously, we're yet to file through the first round of stops. Ted Gravitz.
We'll see in a second. I've had the line from Mercedes guys. Do you want to know their view on the lap one shenanigans? Well, I think everybody wants to know that. Yeah, because we're all well in any other race, in any other series, Lewis would have had to give the place back. They don't see it that way, understandably. They say it was a lunge from Max. He pushed Lewis off the track. I pointed out, well, they didn't touch. They said they didn't touch only because Lewis avoided the collision. He tried to turn in, couldn't take his line, and couldn't get round the corner, so had to go off and go across the runoff. That's the view from Mercedes. Take it as well.
So that's the Mercedes view. If he had turned in what Mercedes are saying, they'd have made contact. Well, you could argue that, but then should Lewis have given the place back? That's what you should have. That's what you could also argue as well, isn't it? Let's go on board with Verstappen. Oh, and he gets a big bit of oversteer at the penultimate corner in the dirty air of the Ferrari, and runs over the curves and. That won't be too good for all of his undertrays. He's closing down on Carlos Sainz, but he's got DRS now, but he knows he needs to race Carlos Sainz and get past him as soon as he possibly can. And he's going to get another DRS and another slipstream all the way to turn 9. Is he going to think about a move up the inside? No. He actually did think about it, but backed out of it. Don't normally see Max back out of moves like that. Leclerc gets past Nicholas Latifi as well for good measure. And Verstappen getting all squirrely as well out of the final corner. That's not really what you want to see, destroying your tyres when they're only, on their third stint, you know? As Norris comes into the pits as well, and the sun is pretty much set. Battle forecast then, Hamilton Perez in 2 laps it would be. But Perez, more importantly, the other Red Bull, Max Verstappen is going to try the inside of Carlos Sainz at the chicane. Sainz isn't going to give that one up easily. And I think Verstappen has got through, but Sainz is going to get another set of DRS and a slipstream all the way down to the bank corner. Max Verstappen really does not need this. Carlos Sainz is going to try the outside at the bank corner. I don't think he stayed in the slipstream long enough. So Verstappen now up to 3rd position. That's a crucial overtake for the Dutch driver into 6 and 7. – 3.7 seconds now, the gap from Hamilton to Perez. When the pit stop chain is over, Hamilton is the net leader of the race by about 7 seconds. But what Perez is going to do is try and hold Lewis up as much as he possibly can.
And Lewis Hamilton has the most points finishes in this season. Meanwhile, Norris's McLaren teammate Daniel Ricciardo pits. Norris running down to 13, but as we heard a little while ago, losing some gears from time to time. He's still running out of the
Not Ricciardo comes in, 2.4 second stop for the McLaren careers. We head on to that 20 of 58 of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And what more is there to come at the Yas Marina circuit? We've already had controversy as he comes through the very strange pit lane exit, may I say. There's Daniel Ricciardo back out onto the track. The pit lane feeds out at Perez Radio. Let's have a listen. Hold up, Lewis, then. Here's the message to Sergio Perez. How wide can Perez make that Red Bull? And when he tried to make contact with him, you don't know, do you? And Hamilton's now well within DRS zone of the Red Bull driver of Sergio Perez, and he's gaining at a rate of knots. But what surely he's going to do it on the back straight where he can maybe get it even done before the braking zone. Then Hamilton's super close. And he's got a good exit. He's got a good drive. Both drivers did actually. But Hamilton's going to get DRS. He's going to get the slipstream. Perez is weaving like crazy, and he's going to push Hamilton right to the exit. He's going to try back the inside. Is Sergio Perez. Hamilton can't get past on this occasion, and Hamilton's still trying to go. And Perez now. Hamilton gets the drive, but who gets DRS? Sergio Perez does. Perez is coming back at Lewis Hamilton in towards turn 9. Oh, that got close. And Perez still leads then somehow. And Hamilton thought about a move he's going to try. No, not there, Lewis, not there. Don't try there. This is a good tussle. Hamilton against Perez, and Hamilton thinks about a move. And Hamilton is now going to try and move at the outside of turn 1. And that's not going to work, Lewis. Don't try that. But he's going to get the inside now at turn 2. He thought about it, but didn't quite do it again. The whole time this is going on, Verstappen is closing on Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton saying it's dangerous driving. And Perez is stamping his brakes. And Verstappen is well within Lewis Hamilton. Oh, they almost touch. And Hamilton's now got the inside. But Perez is going to try and come back at him. And all the while this is happening, Verstappen is closing on the Mercedes driver. But how close is Sergio Perez going to be? Going into turn 9. No, now they're team playing. Perez Radio. And Max has now got past Sergio Perez. And that gap that was 6 seconds is now 1.3 for Verstappen Radio. Verstappen saying Checo's a legend, but Max is already out of DRS range. .7 seconds, the gap then. And now Perez comes into the pits. And Hamilton's putting away a little bit. And Red Bull are trying the hard tyres. I haven't used them yet around the weekend, on the weekend so far.
I think Lewis was looking to cut off any threat down the inside. This has been quite the duel
And it's the unexpected duel, wasn't it? We thought it'd be Verstappen and Hamilton, not Perez and Hamilton, but that really did play a big part in Verstappen's favour, didn't it? Verstappen was 79 hundredths of a second faster on the last lap. Then at 1.798 seconds. We're just coming up to halfway in this race, and it's brewing into a classic that we thought it would be to end the Formula One World Championship. It's still just advantage Lewis Hamilton at this stage. But who's looked after? Who has conserved their tyres better? Kimi Raikkonen, take Rabbits. And Lando Norris then on the strategy, aiming for P6. He's currently P10, but he has pitted. Some of the cars ahead of him haven't quite pitted yet, such as Yuki Tsunoda, Valtteri Bottas. Tsunoda's up to third, but as I said, he hasn't pitted yet. Hamilton heads through the Monaco-style section of this track. 2.5 seconds now is the gap. And Hamilton does a fastest lap of the race. The Dutch grandstand rises to applause Perez radio. And Perez asking, are we going to the end? Red Bull saying we're doing all we can to help out Max. So Tsunoda comes into the pits, by the way, and Toto Wolff looks on from the Mercedes garage. You know what? I'd have loved to have seen his reaction from the race start, because I think it would have been good. But it's a slow stop from the AlphaTauri crew for Yuki Tsunoda. 3.5 seconds then. 2.7 seconds, however, is the gap out in front. Vettel has also come into the pits. And where will he come out? Tsunoda's coming out in 10th position. Vettel is still tumbling down the order. He's going to come out in 13th, I believe. See if Nicholas Latifi can get past. No, he can't. Yes, he can. He just gets him on the pit lane exit. And so does George Russell and Giovinazzi. So Vettel lost a ton of positions there on the pit exits. The only drivers not to stop yet are both Williams and Alonso and Gasly. They're the only drivers that have not made their pit stops yet on Valtteri Bottas as well. As Max versus Lewis is displayed on the podium, Hamilton holds the fastest lap and about a 3-second advantage with it as well. Verstappen was 2/10 slower on the last lap. And that new engine that powered Lewis Hamilton, that's made its debut since Brazil, has proved to be a force of hard work from the Mercedes site, from the Mercedes crew and the Mercedes factory. Hamilton would be on course at the moment to win 4 in a row. And Hamilton and Verstappen 20 seconds clear from the rest of the pack. We can remember Hamilton's debut in Melbourne all those years ago. Fastest sector for Sergio Perez this time, though. as the sun pretty much has gone down now into the night race.
It might still be his day here in Abu Dhabi this evening, but he's going to have to produce a pretty epic Champions drive from here.
I said that back in 2016. I didn't think it would take until at least 2022 before it happened.
So let's have a look at how Hamilton, that battle with Hamilton and Perez again then. Mercedes.
I expected Sergio to run back up the inside down into turn 6. But
meanwhile, as we watch what happened on lap 20 between Sergio Perez and Lewis Hamilton, how they came very, very close together, I think Kimi Raikkonen's Formula 1 career has come to an end, and he's stopped out on track. He's had a...
Kimi Raikkonen is... Oh, Kimi Raikkonen's going slowly. And he's got damage from wing. He's got damage from wing. What's happened there with Kimi Raikkonen in his final F1 race? Raikkonen radio. Braking issue, maybe? Let's have a look. Did he hit the barriers? He's gone straight on. And yeah, he has just nudged the barriers. It looked like a brake failure for Kimi Raikkonen, and he's managed to get it back to the pits.
Adjust themselves somewhat with some engine braking and retardation to stop the cars at the end of the straight doing 200 miles an hour in the space of about 80 meters. 10,000 years.
Oh, Kimi, it's not going to end like this, is it?
Oh, and George Russell's gone off the track. What's happened to George Russell? Russell radio. And Kimi Raikkonen's out in his final race in Formula 1. He's out of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on lap 27. And that is not what we wanted to see. A round of applause for Kimi Raikkonen. Thank you, Kimi. And George Russell's also going slowly through the turn, through the triple apex corner. He's gone sensibly off the track to let other cars come through, and I think this might be the end of George Russell's evening. Let's see how it went, how it's all gone wrong. I think it's stuck in 5th gear. No, it's changing gear. Is it not delivering power? And I think that might be another one out of this race. As Kimi Raikkonen jumps out of Formula 1 car for the last time. An emotional moment in the F1 paddock. A career for the courage, joy, and magic is coming to an end. Russell is also, I believe, retiring from the race in his final race for Williams, and I think Kimi is now getting slightly a bit emotional. George Russell, unfortunately, is getting wheeled back into the garage in his final race for Williams. That is not what they wanted in the Constructors' Championship either. Hamilton radio. Hamilton saying it's a long way on these tyres. It is. It's a very long way on these tyres.
Mercedes tyres have to cover Max Verstappen if Verstappen hits again.
He's got 3.6 seconds in the moment. Verstappen just did a personal best.
And if Max pitted again, would Hamilton have to cover Verstappen, and that could be the turning point in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The championship is certainly not done yet. Verstappen's partner Kenny Piquet watching on. They haven't got any new sets of tyres to put on Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes. They have got a new set of tyres to put on the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. And if Red Bull are thinking of a pit stop, then surely it's hammer time. Bottas radio. And it's hammer time for Valtteri Bottas too, I think. Bottas, who still hasn't pitted, is in third position. And if he can do a good stint on these tyres, he could hamper Red Bull. Esteban Ocon also starting to up his pace a bit. The order so far: Hamilton from Verstappen, from Bottas, from Perez, from Alonso, from Gasly, from Sainz, from Norris, from Leclerc, from Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, Vettel, Stroll, Schumacher, and Latifi is a lap down. And out of this race is Kimi Raikkonen and George Russell. 4.2 seconds then. The gap out in front between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton in Lewis Hamilton's favour. And Sergio Perez is very closely approaching Valtteri Bottas, who now comes into the pits. Verstappen stays out for at least another lap.
We do know that both Red Bulls have got 2 new sets of hard compact tyres, and they're only allocated 2 from the weekend. They haven't run them until the race. It seems slightly bizarre, doesn't it? But I guess they know enough about their tyres and their cars now.
It's brewing into a nice strategical battle here. And we're trying to work out if Lewis put a scrub set of hards on his car or whether he put a brand new set on. Because if he put a scrub set on, then he has got a brand new set of tyres. Left Valtteri Bottas has got DRS with Charles Leclerc. He came out in 9th position. Alonso and Gasly still haven't pitted as Leclerc locks up at turn 6 and 7. And that is going to get Valtteri Bottas nice and excited because he's going to get a nice run down to the bank corner. Leclerc weaving down the straight then. You're not allowed to do that. But Bottas can't quite get past. Meanwhile, Verstappen half a second off Lewis Hamilton on the last lap. It's the 4,700 spotlights that surround this Yas Marina circuit, lighting it up nice and brightly. And then as they wind their way down to the main straight. Five seconds now, the gap as Verstappen navigates his way past the Haas and Mick Schumacher that he's lapped. And Valtteri Bottas Now got DRS again with Charles Leclerc. And he's going to try, is he, at the inside at turn 6 and 7? No. So he should get another opportunity at the bank corner. But he's struggling to get past. Is Valtteri Bottas. Now he's in the slipstream. Now he might be able to go down the inside at the bank corner. No, he can't. He goes slightly wide as well for good measure for Valtteri Bottas onto those vicious curbs that are down there. Hamilton Radio. And Mercedes are saying, if we were to stop on the safety car, would you prefer medium or hards? But at Mercedes, they're in a position that if they pitted, Red Bull would stay out. If they stayed out, Red Bull would pit. So they really don't have the best advantage here as we go on board helmet cam with Charles Leclerc on the first part of the back straight. And he's about, Valtteri Bottas has got DRS right behind him. And I think Bottas, again, is just going to be too far back going into 6 and 7. Yes, he is. And the tail end of that SF21 is sliding around like crazy on the corners. And let's see if Bottas can now get a move into turn 9 again. Leclerc weaving. Bottas tries the outside at the bank corner. He can't do it. He thought about the switcheroo for the next triple apex corner, but no.
Deciding against that on that occasion. The previous lap before that.
As we head to 5 to 6 in Abu Dhabi. 5 to 2 here in the UK. $34.58. Trophy, the championship trophy, going Hamilton's way as it stands. The Leclerc Radio. Leclerc saying, Leclerc's team engineer saying, you've done a good job, but it wouldn't be enough to deny Mercedes an 8th world title at this moment in time. Graphics, take rabbits. But Bottas does now go down the inside of the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. And he does now get past. There's Valtteri Bottas, and he's going to pull away. Well, not quite yet, because Leclerc's got DRS going into the bank corner. Bottas is weaving down the straight. Leclerc thinks about a move at the outside of 9, but no, he can't quite do it. Let's have a look at that move again. Bottas just had better traction, better drive out of the hairpin than Charles Leclerc. And he had a much better drive down the straight then. Oh, Giovinazzi is going slow. And is that another DNF? No shifting. And he's stopping. And that could bring out a virtual safety car. And it's a long way from the service road, so what will they put out? Will it be a virtual safety car there? I don't think they'll do that under double wave yellows. And it's a very fast corner. It would be on the virtual safety car, wouldn't it? Which means the leaders would surely pit. Yes, we have got the virtual safety car to move that car.
There is a stranded Alfa Romeo. We now have a virtual safety car. So all the drivers increase their speed by 40%. No overtaking. The race pretty much gets neutralized. But these cars can pit.
But they can now pit, but who is it going to be that's pit? Hamilton Radio. Hamilton's staying out. What are Verstappen and Red Bull doing? Verstappen hasn't gone past, well, none of Hamilton or Verstappen have gone past the pit lane entry yet. And Red Bull are coming in. Verstappen's coming in. This has been turned around, this has now.
Utilize this bit of track underneath the tunnel, maybe to shave off a little bit more time as well, because the safety car one line won't be with him until he makes his exit from out of that tunnel and back onto the track again.
Perez also coming in then. Verstappen has a brand new set of tyres. Mercedes Radio. Michael saying don't. Sorry, Toto saying don't give us a safety car and close the pack up. And will Hamilton come in this time around now? And will Hamilton come in this time? Because it looks like it might be ending. No, Hamilton stayed out. Virtual safety car ending then. Hamilton Radio. And we're back to green flag. Racing 21.7 seconds then, the gap. And 20 laps to close it down. Surely Max will do this then. This is all to play for, and surely it's advantage Max. It's coming down like a rocket. Hamilton Radio. Eight tenths a lap is what will Verstappen need. And I said don't rule it out yet. It's not over. 16.3 seconds.
but remember he said a while ago, I'm not sure these tires will go to the end. They're 25 laps old already.
And on that last lap, the difference between Hamilton and Verstappen in terms of their lap times, 0.8 of a second.
Verstappen was 0.8 up on Hamilton on the last lap. Hamilton radio. And what? Mercedes saying I don't want to lose track position, but it's got to be 20 banging qualifying laps if he's going to rescue this World Championship. 18 laps to go this Formula One season. 15.9 seconds is the gap. Alonso and Gasly, let's have a look then. Fernando Alonso went round the outside at the bank corner. No, he didn't quite. Alonso radio. You're saying he tried to push him off. They went both off the track, actually, and Fernando was on the inside. So, actually, Fernando ran himself off the track, and Tsunoda didn't. And Tsunoda was, and actually, it was, Alonso was still ahead. It was Alonso who was ahead in the first place. $15.7 then.
Consistent in their application of the rules. If you remember back to turn 6 on the first lap, when they decided no investigation necessary, Hamilton and Verstappen at that time.
It feels to me as if raw pace alone.
Hamilton radio.
Absolutely on raw pace alone, Lewis should have it covered. Unless he starts getting tire degradation.
I mean, on raw pace alone, Lewis should have this covered unless he starts getting tire degradation, which of course could happen, you know. Hamilton sounds a little bit more tense when we hear him on the radio now. And having a look at Hamilton's tyres, they don't look too bad, actually. So Hamilton did put on a scrub set of tyres. He might not be able to keep this pace up for the rest of this race. And 14.8 is the gap. Howie and Herbs in this one. Oh, wow. Wow. And Verstappen was actually slower in the middle part of the lap on that time around. And Pierre Gasly then going on board with Gasly. And Gasly goes down the inside of Fernando Alonso and goes up into 9th position. Verstappen needs to be doing still about 0.8 a lap. She isn't doing it. This is going to go down to the very last lap of the Abu Dhabi GP.
Saudi rather helped Alpine to pull away in that championship battle there at 5th place and figures
now with almost a lot of these cars got used to steering on them. The opposite to that mentality basically. The tyres are so fat, you don't get much knock on them.
So, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix has Lewis Hamilton still out in the lead. 14.8 seconds was the gap. A couple of laps to go as the drivers crossed the line. Max Verstappen making his way round the final.
14.8 seconds was the gap. About 2 laps to go. It's 14.1 now.
0.3 seconds. We have seen Lewis Hamilton somehow mercurially hang on to a set of tyres.
I mean, we have seen it in the past. Lewis Hamilton mercurially hang on to a set of tyres, but Verstappen was for only 0.3 quicker on the last lap. That is not enough. But Hamilton's just set fastest sector too.
This is going to go down to the wire. I hate to be on the Mercedes pit wall at the moment, but just across the pit lane here, it all looks calm there.
And it looks very calm. 15 laps to go. I mean, Pirelli say Hamilton could go to the end, which is what he's doing. 13.98. And Perez being told it's a long way for Hamilton to go, but Perez is not in the battle for this race, is it? 13.8 is the gap. Well, he is in the battle for Perez, is the Constructors' world standings. And about 14 laps to go. 13.7 seconds is the gap. Then the Mercedes Hamilton radio. Hamilton's got back 3 or 4 back markers ahead to get through. They could well come into play in this race. And it's Daniel Ricciardo, it's Ocon, Leclerc, and Ricciardo who are the back markers, who are obviously battling away for points. And this could impact the gap that Lewis has, 31 laps at a tyre age. Then
basically Lewis needs to check slightly carefully because that's a battle royal going on. He's about to hoover up.
And this is battle royal going on that he's about to hoover up. So Lewis definitely needs to tread carefully here. And it does always depend where you get to them. Sometimes you breeze past them on the straight. Sometimes you don't. But 13.9 seconds is the gap out in front. I think Hamilton might catch them on the back straight. Which is obviously going to be the best position to catch them and clear them. Hamilton's got the best seat in the house for all of this. And
into this race. They've had the virtual safety car, which is up. They have that great defence by Sergio Perez, which very much helps.
And Hamilton again hasn't been able to get past and is getting held up quite significantly by these back markers. And all the while he's following these cars, he's destroying his rear tyres as well and his front tyres. As it stands, it will be Hamilton who is world champion in a little while time, as Oscar Piastri, the F2 champion, watches on the headline event this weekend. On lap 46 of 58, they are getting the blue flags now. Hamilton's cleared Charles Leclerc. Daniel Ricciardo is the next one up the road for Lewis Hamilton. And now Ricciardo gets nicely out of the way of the Mercedes driver. And how much will Lewis Hamilton's tyres fall off the wall as we're going on board with Valtteri Bottas? He's got Lando Norris next up the road in towards turn 9. No, he can't quite do it even with DRS on that occasion. We heard earlier in the race that Lando Norris was losing gears and having technical difficulties. Doesn't seem to be having technical difficulties at this moment in time. Kimi Raikkonen is leading the driver of the day standings with 36%. Then remember, you can vote driver of the day, f1.com/vote. Hamilton's nearly cleared all of these back markers, but he's getting held up quite significantly. Hamilton radio. Hamilton being told to ignore the dash. The back markers should nicely get out of his way now on the home straight, and they do. The next one up the road will be Pierre Gasly, but he has now, that did lose him about a second in those back markers.
When you're concentrating on everyone and everything else. It's sort of is true. Just took a second out of the lead there, but still a dozen seconds. Lewis then has
Staffen needs to be doing about over a second a lap now. Clear of Lewis Hamilton, about a second and just over a second quicker than Lewis Hamilton every single lap. That is what Max Verstappen needs to be doing. 12.1 now. He was the second quick on the last lap. .2 seconds. 10 laps to go. Hamilton gets a bit of oversteer off the last corner. Christian Horner now, I'm going to hear from him.
The pace of the Mercedes is just too strong today, so Max is driving his hard out there, but we're going to need a miracle in these last 10 laps to turn it around. So he'll give it everything, but the clock's ticking.
Nothing you can do now, I guess. It's Max's right foot. It's all that's left, isn't it? He's gained 2 seconds in the last 2 laps, but as you say, too much to do.
He's got 4 cars to go through. I mean, he needs some luck from the racing gods, I think, these last 10 laps, but we're going to give it everything as we have done all year, as Max has done all year, and he'll drive his heart out these last 10 laps, you can guarantee that.
Would this been a different race for you if Lewis Hamilton had to have given the place back at turn 6 on that opening lap, or do you think come the final reckoning it wouldn't have made much difference?
Well, it gives you more options. You have track position, you've got clean air. So yes, we're disappointed in that decision, but you know, it is what it is, and we're just getting on with it. And I think, you know, in all honesty, they've just had a quicker car when you look at the pace that they've got on these warm cars, but still 10 laps to go.
Thanks ever so much, Christian.
Lando Norris comes into the pits. He had a slow puncture, so that has forced him into the pits and rather ruined his finale this afternoon. A bit of a disappointing evening. It's turning into Fernando Norris, and that puts Valtteri Bottas up to 5th. 11.1 seconds is the gap. This is well and truly advantage Hamilton. Hamilton radio. And it is the curve. So Hamilton been told
where we saw some front left punches. So has this Grand Prix got a further tyre twist in it properly? Surely not.
Been told to stay off the curbs is Lewis Hamilton. It's not done yet. It is well and truly not done yet, but Hamilton has got clean air now. 8 laps to go. Hamilton radio.
Turns 15 and 16, the final 2 corners on the track.
15 and 16 is where the problems with the curbs are, and we'll see if Lewis Hamilton does stay off the curbs. Um, 8 to go.
Lando Norris currently down in 9th place. Down in 9th place because of the pressure seats. So the medium compound tyre, he's managed to get past Esteban
And
Lando Norris, who races all
we're focusing on the front two.
a few seasons ago. Stellar last lap of his Grand Prix debut season. Came home to finish in 8th place. Still racing to the line now.
Normal service resumed now then for Lewis Hamilton, straight back into the 126s. Now he's clear for traffic. And now that Norris has pitted, that means there are 5 cars for Lewis.
And now that Norris has pitted, there are 5 cars for Verstappen to clear, and he's got a 10.7 second gap.
Might just have to shave off a couple of seconds here or there, but he needs a little bit more than that.
As it stands, Hamilton would be champion. I mean, Verstappen would have led more laps than any other driver. And both drivers have put in a champion performance all season long. And 11.2 now the gap. Not over yet though. Kimi Raikkonen now is 40% of the driver of the day vote, by the way. 11.6 seconds. That gap going up. Keeping anything at bay. And did Red Bull blow that on the virtual safety car? And Lando Norris gets past Fernando Alonso. who had a slow puncture. Verstappen is fastly approaching them now. And he actually gets past both Norris and Alonso and Ocon. It's still got a few left to clear. Mercedes would be Constructors' champions for record-breaking 8th time. Lewis Hamilton, as it stands, would be Drivers' champion for a record-breaking 8th time. There's a yellow flag, and it's Nicholas Latifi. I think that's at turn 14, and that will bring out the safety car then for sure. Will it? Yes. And that changes the context of this race. Verstappen in the pits. And he's put a set of soft tyres on. Once again, Red Bull have nothing to lose. And there's quite a few coming in. And I don't think Lewis will be able to pit and stay ahead of Max Verstappen. Let's see how Latifi ended in the back. This is actually contact with a Haas. And what corner did he crash on then? So that sent him off the track at turn 9. He had dust and debris on his tyres, and as he's got to turn 14, he's just gone round and into the barriers. And so well, how many laps are there left? Hamilton Radio. Three laps to go at the end of this one.
Potentially losing track position, and in this case, if we don't go racing again, because you can't overtake.
And Bert Mylander might have just decided this World Championship. And
as they shake out, but yeah, it's just like you saw Mercedes mechanics just hanging around outside the pits looking at when they had the order to come in. Hamilton was so close to the pit entry.
will it restart? It might do.
He needs more pace, more heat into those tyres.
And
will they let that last whether it's actually mandatory, but that's not on a wet day that they don't. And if so, how long will they wait for those lap cars to get out of the way? They wait for them to catch the pack up. If they don't have to do, then I don't think we're going to race it back. If they let them through, we could get one racing lap.
they haven't let them through yet.
Is seemingly okay after that contact with the barriers, right? About 90 miles.
And Red Bull are coming out into the pits again then.
It's good to see that he's okay. Sergio
Perez comes in.
into the pits again. I think they're retiring the car here.
Perez is out.
I don't understand why, but I think they are retiring the car. And yes, they're not going to be working on it, and that is the end of Sergio Perez's Abu Dhabi World.
This Perez is out. Okay, so lap cars won't be allowed to overtake. So Mercedes are Constructors' Champions. The Drivers' Championship, however, is very much up for grabs depending when the safety car will come in. I mean, they're not allowing lap cars through, which is surprising me. Is it to get a racing lap in? I mean,
should get one lap of racing here. If we allowed the
one.
to overtake, we have no laps.
It should be one lap of racing. We're going to stay out for one more lap.
Because I think that is the decision that has come from race control. And personally, this is the decision that gives them the best chance if they want it.
The regulation, as I said, they may allow those lap cars with not mandatory. But as you point out, Rob, there'll be no racing laps if they let the lap cars through.
There will be no racing laps if they let the lap cars through. Red Bull to Michael Massey Radio.
Christian's talking about getting the lap cars out of the way, not clearing the incidents away.
I mean, the safety car is still circulating.
Well, so here we go. Normally, you'd see the race leader backing up the pack a little bit with the safety car goes. I would imagine on this case, you'd be doing a lap.
And Is it staying out? Okay, so that cars are allowed to overtake the safety car. And it's coming in. It's coming in. And this is going right to the wire. And Verstappen and Hamilton are wheel to wheel. And Verstappen's desperate to get on with it. He's wheel to wheel with Lewis Hamilton. Oh, Hamilton's gone. It's advantage for Verstappen now. 3.2 miles to go. Who's it going to be? We head on to the final lap. Is it going to be a first world championship or a last? Who's it going to be who does it? The first overtaking zone is going to be at the hairpin. Verstappen goes through. Oh! He's done it! Verstappen's done it right to the death. Verstappen snatched the championship away. Right to the death of the world on the last lap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Hamilton thinks about the outside. Verstappen goes wide. He started with controversy. He's going to end with it. Hamilton's going to try the outside of the bank corner. Verstappen's going to run him almost out of road. Into turn 9. It's going to be Max Verstappen. He's going to be world champion. At the end of it, though, it's all come down to this. The youngest ever Formula 1 world champion. Max Verstappen, the Orange Army. Verstappen wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and is a Formula 1 world champion. And those last moments will be talked about for so long. And Toto, Mercedes have lost it right at the death. No way. Wow, wow, wow. And
they're all asking each other what is going on. They're shaking their heads. They are in disbelief. They're in disbelief that Mercedes Horner has gone up to the Mercedes pit wall to shake hands with anyone he can find. He's getting a handshake, but it's not very warm. Mercedes absolutely have no idea what has just gone on. They are befuddled, the most befuddlement you can ever see. Where is this all going off? That is a release of emotion and a release of pressure. I can't believe, is it luck? Is it judgment? Is it the getting the rub of the green? But they are absolutely shell shocked.
And
Mercedes, and they are in pieces, in tears of joy at Red Bull Racing.
Mercedes are in tears. Lewis Hamilton is in tears. And it will be debated about. And the party now starts. And there's no response from Lewis Hamilton. And it was all set to be Mercedes. You never ever give up. That is not your message to give up. I mean, amidst all of this, there are no words. I mean, how do you script this? Please control me, Jack. Yeah, me too. That was absolutely insane. But yeah.
Wanted to give this race every chance to end as a race, not behind the safety car. We've had races and behind the safety car before. We've had championships won behind the safety car before. But we wanted to ensure that we got at least one lap of racing. And by allowing those lap cars in between Hamilton and Verstappen to unlap themselves, that was the best chance for it to happen.
What did we just witness?
Overtaking and unlapping themselves, and then a few moments later they were. Toto Wolff is absolutely furious.
Toto Wolff is furious.
Nobody, I think, wants to say a word to the Mercedes team principal. We'll be getting reaction from Mercedes as soon as he's able to talk. Oh, we will be. I'm sure they will have a lot to say. I'm sure Red Bull will have a lot to say and celebrate. Sergio Perez, who did such a sterling job for his teammate tonight, is down there to join in the celebration. Sebastian Vettel, who shared some great rivalry with Lewis Hamilton over the years, comes over.
Mick Schumacher goes over to hug Lewis Hamilton.
Max Verstappen, here's the 2021 World Championship on the track.
I mean, Verstappen is world champion, but that will be discussed.
He said it early on, I want to be world champion. It's happened for him, but honestly, it had to happen in circumstances like this, Martin, because anything else of the season that we've just had.
This season ever commentated on in a quarter of a century, the wildest finale. Max Verstappen said to us he didn't use any watching in my life. I'll be world champion one day.
And I'm sure I'd love to see the Dutch parties, but I can tell you now, here in London, where a lot of the fans are Team Lewis, there is heartbreak across the UK. There's confusion, I think, as well in the Mercedes garage. Should the safety car come in? You just can't work it out, can you? And we're going to hear the post-race interviews. And we're first of all going to hear from the world champion, Max Verstappen.
Max Verstappen, you are a Formula 1 world champion.
It's unbelievable. I mean, throughout the whole race, I kept fighting, and then of course that opportunity in the last lap. It's incredible. I'm still having a cramp, but it's insane. It's insane. I mean, I don't know what to say. These guys here of my team, and of course Honda as well. They deserve it. I love them so much, and I really enjoy working with them already since 2016. But this year has been incredible.
Christian said with 10 laps to go, you might need a miracle to win this championship. You got your miracle.
Yes, finally a bit of luck for me. Yeah, insane. I also want to say a big thank you to Checo. I mean, he was driving his heart out as well today. It was great teamwork, and he's an amazing teammate.
You've given us the most exciting championship this year, yourself and Lewis. This year will go down in history as one of the best ever, and you came out on top. If you got a message for your team, for all the fans here that are supporting you?
Well, to my team, I think they know I love them, and I hope we can do this for 10, 15 years together. There's no reason to change ever. I want to stay with them for the rest of my life. I hope they let me, but yeah, it's insane. I'm so happy. And also, you know, Christian, but also Helmut, you know, trusting me to be in the team in 2016. Our goal, of course, was to win this championship, and now we've done that.
Congratulations, Max. Thank you.
One title for Max Verstappen. How many more to follow? Lewis Hamilton with 7 world titles. Could have been an 8th. We'll hear from him in a moment. Carlos Sainz is next to speak to Jess.
Carlos, I mean, I'm not sure you expected a podium, but I'm sure you'll take it this weekend. Definitely take it, yeah. Especially, yeah. After everything that unraveled in that race with that late safety car, we were in the right place at the right time, all the time with a good pace. And yeah, podium to win a magic season, first season for me in Ferrari. P5 in the championship. I think, yeah, I took it off today and definitely enjoyed it. But you had the pace today. The car looked good. Your pace looked very strong. I was very strong today from qualifying yesterday. That I did a good lap today going into a race. Already laps to agree, the car felt really good, and yeah, to put together a strong first sting, a strong sting on the hard. With the safety car there at the end, the nerves were high, but yeah, we managed to keep it together, and yeah, enjoyed it all. I have to ask you about Max and Lewis. Max coming out on top, Formula 1 world champion. What are your thoughts? I think whoever came on top today was going to deserve it. I think there are 2 great drivers at the peak of their careers, putting together a great show, and I mean, congratulations to both, especially for Max, obviously, after that mega win. And yeah, happy for him because we shared our first year together in Toro Rosso, and to see him now be capable of winning a world championship is also like a good thing for me, and I look up to it. Thank you. Thank you.
very, very
Carlos
shortly.
Sainz, who finishes fifth in
We're
the
here
Drivers' Championship,
from
courtesy of
Lewis
Lamborghini,
Hamilton.
and finishes ahead of his teammate
Sainz
Charles Leclerc in his
finishes
first
fifth. In fact, we're going to hear from Lewis now.
Lewis Hamilton been speaking with his father, Anthony Hamilton. Now talking to Jensen Button.
Lewis, it's been an amazing season to watch for everyone, for the fans of Formula One. Whether you're a Max fan, whether you're a Lewis fan, it's been one of those seasons that's gone down to the wire, to the last lap of the race. It didn't go your way, but you must be proud of what you've done this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, firstly, a big congratulations to Max and to his team. I think we did an amazing job this year. My team, everyone back in the factory, all the men and women we have, and here have worked so hard this whole year. It's been the most difficult of seasons, and I'm so proud of them, so grateful to be a part of the journey with them. And yeah, we gave it everything. This last part of the season, we gave it absolutely everything, and we never gave up, and that's the most important thing.
You obviously started a little bit on the back foot at the start of the year, but as you said, you guys worked together very strong into the season. Didn't quite go your way, but I think we've seen the best Lewis Hamilton I've ever seen, and you seem very confident in your ability to come back next year and fight for that crown again.
Yeah, of course, I've been feeling good, great in the car this past couple of months, particularly at the end. If I'm honest, we were still in the pandemic, and I just really wish everyone to stay safe and have a good Christmas with all their families, and yeah, we'll see about next year.
I feel it's one person has to win the World Championship, but I feel you deserve something this year, mate. That was an exceptional year, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jensen is totally right. You can say both of them deserve to be world champion, as Jos Verstappen talks to Max Verstappen and a teary Max Verstappen. The first ever, the first in a long while, Dutch world champion.
As to why race control said the lap cars wouldn't be allowed to overtake under the safety car, and then why the decision was changed to allow some of the cars to overtake. And it's possible that after the Williams car of Nicholas Latifi was cleared away, there was time for the lap cars to overtake once the marshals had left the track. I think Michael Massey, as the race director, would have want marshals on the track whilst people were overtaking and unlapping themselves, but this, Martin, the last lap, and of all the miles of racing we've had this season, the 3.2 miles that we'll talk about again and again and again.
I wasn't expecting Max to go quite so early with that, if I'm honest. It probably left him exposed there down the next two straights, and he managed to hold it all together. A regulation 39.12, the clerk of the course considers it, if the clerk of the course considers it safe to do so. The message lap cars.
And the first ever Dutch F1 world champion.
Do so, we're told, because marshals they were tearing the car away. But for it to happen so quickly like that, what a turnaround. What a turnaround for the opportunity on that last flying lap.
Races won and lost with last lap passes. It's happened, of course, before in Formula One. It doesn't happen often, though.
Verstappen radio.
The last time we had a race won with a last lap pass, Lewis Hamilton getting past Nico Rosberg on the last lap of the Austrian Grand Prix in 2016. We saw Toto Wolff shouting "No, Michael, no!" at Michael Massey, the race director. The Fix One headset last week, when emotions ran high in Jeddah. They might have to have done another one tonight at Mercedes. Such was the fury and the dismay from the Mercedes team principal there. The sight that we all want to see, Martin, after a season like this, the handshake, the embrace, and the congratulations from one champion to another, from one competitor to another, from one rival to another.
Mercedes to...
You need to reinstate the lap before. It's not right.
Sorry,
Yes.
it's not a motor race, okay? Sorry. We're going to kart racing.
And that's Michael Massey. And it's saying we went car racing. He wanted every chance to finish this race as a race, not behind the safety car.
Full respect there to do as his dad Anthony straight to the Verstappen camp.
Wow.
Jerry Horner there. And unfortunately, is Jerry Halliwell, of course, Christian's wife. And there it is.
He had to break that in a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if that's been rubbed out. 10 laps to go. It wasn't looking like that, was it?
Well, it was a different story. 10 laps to go this round.
Like Carlos Sainz makes his way onto the podium.
For Ferrari for what will be the 6th time in his career. Lewis Hamilton steps on to a podium that he thought
Hamilton steps onto a podium that he thought would be the top step. It's the 2nd step. And the world champion, Max Verstappen, to the biggest cheer of them all, is eventually going to walk out onto the podium.
Great start. Pretty much led everything. Didn't fall for him with the safety car.
Here we go then. In his honour, we will hear the Dutch and the Austrian national anthems. Dutch and Austrian national anthems.
Amidst the tears.
Smiles amidst the tears of Mercedes. But Max Verstappen raises the trophy high into the air, and to a great cheer from his girlfriend and the Red Bull team. And Lewis Hamilton, Christian Horner, first is going to get presented with the Constructors' Trophy. And he's going to lift that one high up into the air as well and point to his team below him and his wife. And Lewis Hamilton, who arguably had the championship cruelly snatched from him, gets presented a 2nd place trophy, and it's a very somber wave and clap from the Mercedes crew. And Carlos Sainz will get presented his 3rd place trophy.
They'll ask why was it that some cars were allowed to overtake, not all cars allowed to overtake.
And Carlos Sainz gets the 3rd place trophy. The champagne is going to be sprayed, but only for Red Bull. An epic end to an epic season extraordinary and quite remarkable, unforgettable Formula One at its very, very best. That's it for 2021. We've got the F1 show. We dissect all of this on Thursday night. But for F1 and live racing, we'll see you in 2022 in Bahrain when Formula One returns.